Welcome to the channel and to this series about exploring places. In these explorations, we will leave no stone unturned, no phenomenon unexplained, and no plant undescribed. Our journey will be mostly guided by the hand of fate herself, taking us to places we never thought we would see, and showing us things we never thought we would find. What we have planned with a certain degree of certainty, though, is to go to Brittany. Brittany is a region of France which is almost entirely surrounded by the ocean. Because of this, Brittany has some of the most unique climate in France, but even more fascinating is the region's geology, which, as you will see, will allow us to make some absolutely fascinating finds along the way. You join us in tunnels of Belgium as we are departing for travel to Brittany.
It's the first day of our travel.
Yeah.
We are the 29th June.
Of June, yes.
Of June, yes. And the first step of our travel is go to the Mer du Nord. And we try to go to Coxide. And next, I don't know what is the word in English, but passer la frontière.
Next
by
we will,
foot.
yeah. Next we're gonna try to cross the border by foot. So this is our first attempt to cross the border by hitchhiking. Our first ride was with Daniel. Daniel told us of his life as a steel mill worker, his region's former pride and main economical activity. As we chatted, kilometers passed by and we finally crossed the border between Belgium and France. Daniel even offered to leave us by the sea, offer we accepted quickly as we had not even seen the sea yet since the start of this trip.
Mettez-vous bien votre argent sur vous.
Ouais.
Allez, quelque chose.
We took a lift over to this place, which is a little bit in the middle of nowhere, but it is not in Dunkirk, and that is already a really good thing about this place. Because Dunkirk was a little bit creepy, and we met a few people who told us that it was really unsafe.
On va aller près de la route, pas trop près de la route, sinon.
After going through Dunkirk as quickly as we could and avoiding Calais, we arrived in the small town of Wormhout, where we met Laurent and Benjamin, two of the nicest and most typical locals from the north of France.
Je peux te faire un petit commentaire?
Oui, vas-y.
Hello everybody, we have a problem. Nobody would want to take us in a car. We wait, but nobody comes. Comment ça s'appelle?
The firemen have seen us, and
Stylé ça.
they offered us to have some coffee with them, so we're going to do that.
Bar café. Oui, c'est ça. Et donc, pour commencer le voyage, je préférais faire du start.
After waiting for an hour and a half near Limbre and 3 hours under the rain near the town of Boulogne, we finally hitched a couple of rides that set our journey back in motion. As we were about to quit trying to hitch more rides in order to set our tent up, a car stopped by. In the car was Sylvie, a truck driver by profession who took us more than 400 kilometers south in one go, allowing us to escape the rain and the greyness of the region of Calais. As we arrived in the region of Mayenne, we hitched a ride with a mother and her son. They took us to that place and let us play with their cats, and they also gave us plenty of water for the rest of the trip. Then they took us to visit some interesting places nearby, which I did not film in order to not make anyone uncomfortable, as the places they showed us were quite personal to them. When we asked about a place to swim in the region, like a lake or river, they got very eager to help us find such a place. They brought us to a small river which was barely 10 centimeters deep, full of uncomfortable stones and overgrown with brambles. Since they seemed to think they were doing a marvelous job at helping us satisfy our swimming needs, we gladly accepted and went to wash ourselves in the little brook. Little did we know this place would lead us to find some of the most intriguing stones I found in a long time. At first I thought those were pieces of plastic, but I'm not so sure about that anymore. So I'm going to take them back home and see what they are. Hopefully they're something cool, not just little pieces of, I don't know, metal or plastic or whatever. There's some more over here. No, can't really grab it. No, I guess not. Yeah, there's plenty of smaller pieces. What do you think, Penny?
Non, moi.
No.
La dernière que j'ai trouvée, elle était vraiment magnifique. Hein.
Ouais. Là, Camille has reached her destination. Me, on the other hand, I am in the middle of nowhere. Camille's destination is actually this farm right down there. She's going to be staying there for a week. I don't have a tent, I don't have any water anymore. I have a little bit of food, but most of it needs to be cooked. It's 10 in the morning on a Sunday, and the local bar is already very much active.
Enfin, vous, avec vos déploiements et wallons, déjà, ça fait. C'est ça, parce que vous n'avez pas eu de gouvernement pendant longtemps. Exactement. Signé quoi, toi? Et après, vous prenez une photo devant le bar. Devant le bar. Il a pas signé son nom, là. Si.
Everything is so green here. It's almost a jungle. And to be fair, I mean, Brittany does have a little bit of a microclimate which causes a lot of rainfall and fairly mild temperatures. So yeah, that explains in part why everything is so green and so luxurious, and also why you can find so many of these little bogs and ponds all over the place. So yeah, that's really cool. I mean, there are plenty of interesting plants, although I suspect not all of them are really native to the area, but so many plants, so many amphibians, so many little animals. Now, what exactly makes Brittany's climate so special? Let's compare two cities that both lie in France. On the left you have Brest, and on the right you have Paris. Now, as you can see pretty much immediately, Brest has a much lower temperature amplitude over 1 year than Paris. Something else you can see, but not so obviously, is how Brest has a lot more rainfall than Paris. Now, you have to pay attention because both graphs don't have exactly the same scale. So you can see for Brest, the scale for rain goes almost up to 125 millimeters, whereas for Paris it only goes up to 75 millimeters. This map shows us that Brest is not the most extreme case of a microclimate in Brittany. Indeed, just west of Brest we have what we call the Monts d'Arrée, which are small mountains, and those mountains cause a huge amount of rainfall. Indeed, in these regions you can get almost 1,500 millimeters of rain, which is quite a lot, and this partly explains why you can find so many bogs and even peat bogs in this region. Most of this rainfall is caused by winds being forced up the slopes of the Monts d'Arrée and therefore cooling down and causing the water in them to condensate and rain over the Monts d'Arrée. There aren't many cars around. We're tired, we're hungry. We would really like to have a nice shower now.
Vous allez venir chez moi, il y a de la place.
C'est vrai?
Ah, ça c'est génial.
Alors il y a de la place, pardonnez-moi, il y a de la place dehors, hein, pas dedans parce que j'ai
aucun problème, mais du moment qu'on peut planter la tente, c'est trop bien.
Vous pouvez planter la tente.
Ah, on avait besoin de quelque chose comme ça parce qu'on sort d'une galère, mais
Eh
on
ben
avait
vous
pas
serez pour
idée.
les...
So we've just arrived at Christian's place. This is just absolutely awesome because we were literally saying all day, we were going on and on about how it would be awesome to have someone to pick us up and take us to their place and have a warm shower, have some food and stuff. And like we were kind of starting to get a little bit desperate with all the hitchhiking and the waiting we were doing because it's like almost 9 p.m. right now. And we were kind of getting desperate because we were waiting for a long time there, really. And we were so tired, and so honestly the mood was pretty bad, and this is such a welcome surprise.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.